African-American resistance in Charleston.
They're talking about the
supremacy
church shooting.
And to Jim Crow segregation for almost, well, essentially 200 years now.
There's no way this was an accidental target.
Obama commented on it.
7-Eleven.
It's diversion.
Oh, not at all. I mean, even if the gunman targeted a black church on a Wednesday night during Bible study, that would have enough symbolism as it is. But the target,
I find this so funny. I'm eating nachos to it.
I find it highly unlikely to be a coincidence.
What is the history of this church?
Highly unlikely to be a coincidence.
1816, when you describe it being a
very historical church,
African-American resistance in the
resistance church,
civil rights
even
movement and post-Reconstruction and the Civil War, for that matter. What sort of events are you referring to?
Oh, most definitely. Well,
no, this isn't race baiting at all.
One of the co-founders of the church was a man named Denmark Vesey.
Was it?
Who is best known for instigating a potential revolt in South Carolina against slavery in 1822. Now, when this plot was discovered by the authorities, Vesey was surprisingly executed, and the church itself was burned to the ground. Now, Emmanuel AME has
burned to the ground, was it?
Significance because the church has been destroyed several times, and each time the congregation has always tried to bring it back from the dead.
Well, that's good. Reconstruction's always good, right?
Underground during the Civil War, or whether rebuilding after an earthquake in the 1980s. Emmanuel AME has always been a symbol of
last earthquake here I slept through.
1960s, as you alluded to earlier. Martin Luther King Jr. himself spoke at the church.
Did he?
And Coretta Scott King spoke there as well.
What a coincidence that someone would target us.
Mass rallies in Charleston.
This terrible hate crime, as if there's such thing as a love crime.
But your personal emotional reactions to what's going on today?
I love you so much, but I just want to murder the shit out of you. You know.
Gut-wrenching. As Mr.
It is gut-wrenching.
And as you also mentioned,
but not for the reasons any of you people mentioned.
Are not supposed to happen anymore, and yet,
right? Because we don't live in the 50s. We live in a fucking police state.
You can't help but think back to the 4 little girls in Birmingham in 1963, or
I never thought back to that.
The racial incidents. Suffice to say, I'm just.
So you just reminded me.
Alex Sands, how widely known is the history that Robert Greene mentions there? Is it understood?
Nobody knew the name of the church before today.
People in Charleston?
I think certainly in the city itself, it's fair to say that.
Oh, of course.
The church, rather, has a very deep and long history, and people here are aware of it. And that is certainly something that...
So is the Vatican.
Last night, hours after this happened, there was talk of whether that had something to do with this, and certainly part of the conversation continues today here in Charleston.
So you're in the quote-unquote shooter Patsy's head, right?
In Charleston, and how likely is it that the state senator, Republican senator,
you have a tie, you have a suit, you're qualified to answer these questions.
We will see politicians and Jeb Bush canceling a campaign event.
Oh my God, he canceled a campaign event.
What are the implications and repercussions?
I think we have to remember that this is still an area where the scars and the wounds from the Walter Scott shooting are still fresh.
Oh.
And that was certainly we were reminded of that last night.
We're reminded that we're still supposed to hate one another.
And while this is different in how it happened and where it happened and the people involved, there is
divide and conquer.
Race is still a very real concern, and
because you keep on telling us it is.
People here in Charleston, and they're afraid that this is now opening possibly a target for other churches.
Oh, really? Inciting mob mentality.
People are afraid now in some circles to go to church.
They're afraid because you're telling them to be afraid.
These things just don't happen.
Alex, before we
these things just don't happen until they do.
The Press covers this all the time. How organized is the vestiges of the white supremacy?
How about real question? The white supremacy movement?
How likely is it that they will either deny any involvement or speak up over this?
How
likely is it that question is even fucking relevant?
I can't give us an exact answer right now. Certainly across the South, it's known to many people who live and report in these different states.
Wow.
That there is still a very different America than what perhaps other people in the Northeast or out West may realize. The South still has...
I don't know, I'm from the Northeast.
...very strong ties to its past. And by that I mean...
That's bullshit.
And some of their viewpoints, some would say, haven't quite evolved.
Stereotyping Southeastern Americans as hillbillies?
along those lines. So certainly that is something that federal authorities and authorities here in South Carolina will explore as the
Of course they will.
But nothing that we know right now that can specifically link.
So you basically just said you know jack
Alex
shit.
Sands is a reporter for the Associated Press, doing great work for us
The
here on
Associated
Takeaway
Press,
in,
great
Galveston,
work,
South Carolina.
fantastic.
Alex,
Here,
thanks so
fucking.
Thank you, Joe.
much. Some final thoughts from you, Robert Green II?
Yes. Well, again, I hope that this is a moment where black and white Charlestonians will come together and really try to solve some of the racial divisions that have plagued Charleston for a long, long time. As Mr. Sands mentioned earlier.
Okay, enough. Racial divisions that have plagued them for a long, long time. The only reason there's fucking racial division is because people keep bringing it up. That's number one. Number two, and this whole damn thing is staged. The moment I heard it, and the moment I heard Barack Obama literally makes reference to, oh, well, this is another good reason to take away our guns. Literally. I already told you. Your shit's gonna get grabbed, land grab, water grab, FEMA grab, fucking... Oh my God, I could go on and on and on and on. They want your shit. Free will and ownership was a myth. Free responsibility, freedom of speech, it's a myth. It's a myth. Even the cops are afraid for their jobs. I had an incursion this morning that was actually pleasant. Like, the cop had me dead to rights on something really stupid, and he actually let me off with a verbal warning. Can you believe that? And then on the news, you have all this shit about black and whites, and this lunatic out of nowhere goes, and all of a sudden this church is the next Sistine fucking Chapel, right? This is the next Ferguson, right? And they're already talking about holding memorials and all this other shit, and I'm sure they'll have paid actors to light candles, and damn, if you can cry on command, I bet you make a lot of money. Anyways, I just want you to think about it, you know? Like, here, I'm going to turn the radio right back on. Let's see what they're talking about. Just for a second.
Anyone personally, or if it was impersonal, regardless, anyone who would kill like this is deranged. This is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Ed Lake writes, "Stop the hate, America." Thinking of this
Stop the hate.
social narrative, a white woman trying to pass as black earlier this week, one conversation.
Oh, a white woman trying to pass as black. It segues into it. You see how they do this, people? It's nonstop. The news report last hour, if I were to turn it on in another 45 minutes, I promise you, it will be the exact same shit. It will be the exact same speech that Obama gave. It will be the exact same everything. This country needs to wake up. Seriously, you guys, I don't know. God is with me because you helped me out earlier today. Peace. I love you all. You know who you are. Keep it real.